Well, I have to wonder now, being it has gotten this far, if Victoria Fertitta has broken some laws. Blackmail, aiding and abetting, entrapment, um, and obviously they've got a lot of power with the police. um, So what's happened, if you've kept up with the videos and posts of emails and all that, um, yesterday, well, let's see, it's now Friday, so Wednesday, I get a call from Palace Station HR person. He says his name is Mr. Thompson or something, and he all but assures me that I can have the opportunity that I was legally entitled to of going through the chain of command and talking to one or two people. And while I was on the call with him, a call came in from Victoria Fertitta. She didn't leave a message. Anyway, after I finished the call with Thompson, it looked like the next step was, check the voicemail, and there was nothing. So I managed to get through to, well, I'm skipping a section. I let's see. I called and leave Victoria a message or whatever within the limited space of the voicemail. Thank you for calling. Da 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 da. And I've talked to Thompson, and apparently I'm going to get a hearing and a fair chance. Finally, my legal right. And then hours later, I decided to make another call or two to some numbers, and suddenly Palace Station, Red Rock, Palms, the Fertittas, every time I was calling any number, it automatically is blocking me. So I used somebody else's phone, and I managed to get through to some of these numbers. I talked to a secretary lady for Victoria and tell her, what this is all about and what I was promised. And now, one thing I didn't mention that Mr. Thompson said, the customer complaints, including the violent drunk who was cursing, who I told to leave the table, they're saying that these customers who were harassing me were set up to do so, which I believe is called entrapment. And by Victoria calling me, not leaving a message, blocking me, or being in charge of those who are, that's, I think, aiding and abetting. And, what's the next move? That I use another friend's phone to get through, and they suddenly start with what? A cease and desist letter, which would be like blackmail. We can call you, play games with you, set up players against you, and if you stand up for yourself, we could try to threaten you. I mean, what's the next step? And if by any chance they don't own the police, which I'm sure they do, I would say that, well, if Bill Cosby can't get out of jail, then don't catch the coronavirus, Mrs. Fertitta, because if they put you away, then if Cosby can't get out, then neither can you. And it tells you a lot about what's going on here in the world, because this Mayor Goodman wants to reopen everything. It's just like the scene in Jaws after the shark attacks at the beach. The mayor of Shark City, not Sin City, Shark City, saying, my kids were on that beach too. There's the best scene in the movie as far as I'm concerned, but regardless. Now, one thing Mr. Thompson had said, he says, we can give you a meeting, but I don't know that we'd rehire you. You've been kind of a wave maker. And I said to him, in which he had no reply, when I report supervisors pulling my arm, pulling me away from a blackjack table in front of the players who think he's a psycho, and it's not even documented by my supervisors. And supervisors stand there when a drunk is screaming and cursing at me and harassing all the players, and the supervisor stands there and doesn't come in the middle of it. Who exactly do you consider the wave makers? And I could tell you, to wrap this up, you see, power has always been more important to money than to most people. So, yeah, they can go through all of this and still just toy with me about giving me the chain of command hearing that I'm legally entitled to. But they don't want to give up the power. So they've got to fight the limits of a non-union employee, which is very open to their side, not the little guy. And it makes them feel better about themselves. And those of you who write in against me, it's like, if I was a union employee saying all these things, you'd give a damn. But otherwise, you call me a malcontent. So, think about it.